What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. Thanks for joining us. My name's Tyler. This is Sean. We are Rendered Reality. Appreciate you being here. We had a little technical difficulties this morning, so we're glad you're still here with us.
It's not morning, though.
Well,
we're so used to being live in the morning, but it's not actually
that's
morning
true.
for us. So
That's true. Yeah, typically we're on Saturdays, right? In the mornings for us.
Yep, we kind of had a crazy week this week. We'll start off with what's been going on with us. I actually was in Vegas this past week, and I just got back last night, so that was the reason we didn't do the show Saturday morning. I would have actually been on the plane the time we would have normally went live, so that would have been a little bit difficult to do. And you were having like a open house kind of a thing for your new move, right?
Yep, we finally got moved in. I was hustling, trying to get everything done. The craziest part of the night is, we had everybody over, all our friends and stuff and family, and everyone wanted to try the VR stuff. But I was so torn the whole time because I couldn't really remove myself to focus on that. So it was really hard for me because I wanted to put every single person in it, and I got a couple of people to try some things. But, I wish I could have had a line like in an amusement park of people trying it and stuff. That was the dream, but I didn't have the time to. But yeah, it went good and everything, but that's why we couldn't be here. We do apologize that, but we're coming to you on Sunday this week. So
and it's been a ridiculously crazy. Like, this was the worst week for us to do all this stuff because all of this big news and all of this big stuff dropped that we weren't really exactly expecting. Some of it we were a little bit, and some of it we knew was coming. But well, thank you to the VR man. That is actually the second super chat he sent us. We had a little bit of error in the beginning. That one came through pretty early, he had
it actually before the show. So before we were live, we were setting stuff up, and it came through actually, which was really cool to see. It was like a little private super chat, which was super cool. We do really appreciate it.
I think that one said the Starbucks drive-through fund, and this one says the Las Vegas aftermath fund, which we can definitely use that. So that's awesome. So we definitely appreciate that.
I keep trying to think, honestly, I mean, as these super chats keep adding up, do you think maybe we could do a big, VR trip for everybody and do some streams to a show, a convention or something? I really think
maybe
we should,
CES or something. You're trying to get me to
PAX
CES
East or something? Yeah, something. No, maybe not. I know you're not set on CES, and I get that.
We can still try. We'll see what happens,
people,
but definitely maybe some PAX East or something this year, or something like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll definitely try to get something happening this year for sure. So we'll still talk about CES. We'll see how that goes, but yeah. So one of the big things that dropped this week, and this was I think on Monday, was the Oculus Link. The whole thing with Link. I mean, that was like kind of a crazy. I mean, we knew it was coming. We kind of expected it the week before last, and it came last week. And that definitely had everybody talking and people scrambling to figure out what cables were going to work and what was going to happen with that. So tell us about your experience.
Well, I had a ton of cables in the chamber, like ready to go. And the one that I had that worked the best was a Type C to Type C. And it wasn't very long, though. It was only about 6 feet. But I knew it handled a really high bit of information, so I knew I would be covered. But actually, we found out you don't need that good of a cable, which is kind of crazy to me. But I did pick up the Oculus recommended cable as well, which I think that one comes in at, 10 feet?
10 feet,
I think.
yeah.
So it actually is playable, in a standing position. You can't go real far. Your PC's never sitting out by your living room. So, I mean, some are, but it doesn't really give you as much. But it did work good for me. I think you picked up the same one too, didn't you?
Right, yeah. I actually ordered it as soon as they announced that it was available because I had other ones, but I didn't know what was going to work for sure. So I went ahead and ordered it right away, which is a good thing because it kind of sold out there for a little while. I think it's back in stock now. But yeah, I had a couple cables at the house, some short, some long. I tried pretty much everything I had, and nothing I had would work right. It just kept saying that it wasn't picking it up or that it showed red when it was plugged in. So I got that cable the next day. I got that on Tuesday, and I got to try it out. And the first thing I went into was Stormland. And I was pretty impressed. I mean, my early takeaway, I don't think everybody thought right off the bat that this was going to be the Rift S killer. Like the Oculus Link cable got announced and everybody was like, what do you need a Rift S for anymore? I'm not exactly in that boat. Like I still much prefer the Oculus Rift S experience over the Link in the Quest because for me, there's not much latency and it's not bad. Like if that's your only option, it's a great option, I think. But for me, it's not perfect and it is still in beta, so it's going to get better. But it was, right off the bat, I had some issues where like when I would turn my head, the world would be just a little bit delayed from when I turned. It only did it for a little bit and then it seemed to go away and get better. But yeah, Did you have any real issues with yours?
I actually had no issues. And for me, my go-to was just because of the release and the size of the game and everything. I went into Stormland. I mean, that's what I did too. That was the first thing I went into. So I just want to say, from my experience, I actually played Stormland through Revive on the Index with Knuckles, which got patched immediately and stuff, and I had that up and running, which I talked about last week. But I actually thought it looked better on the Quest through Link than it did when I played it on the Index. Now, there were some issues with it. On the Index, there was some depth and some odd visuals that were happening.
Yeah, you were getting some weird artifacting stuff.
Yeah, it was like a reprojection type deal on some textures, which it wasn't a deal breaker. You knew it was there, but it still looked gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. But then when I played it, through a native Oculus product, through Link, I actually felt it looked better than. Now, I haven't been back into it now on Index, so I can't speak for that. But I did. I thought it ran great. Now, you were coming from a Rift S playing Stormland to the Quest. So how was your experience between that difference? Okay.
I haven't tried it on the Index yet, but that's what I mean. Like, as far as the little bit of latency Rift and stuff, it just felt better to me in the Rift S than it did on the Quest. But it was still like, if I would have never known any different, like if I only had a Quest and I picked up a gaming PC to play Stormland and that was the first PC VR game or whatever I'd ever played, I'd have been blown away because there's just so much more in the game, in the build, of a PC VR game than what there is on a Quest game. So I think the people that only have Quests are really going to be blown away with the Link. And I know we're talking about this a little bit late in the game because it's been out for almost a week now. But yeah, and my first initial thoughts when this first got released and we were looking at these cables, and the cable that they actually recommended was, a 5 gigabyte per second cable, I think.
Yep.
So my original thought is that it's probably going to be a lot better once we actually get the Link cable. My thought was that it's going to be a higher speed cable. It's probably going to, it's going to obviously be longer. It's going to be thinner. So I actually reached out to Oculus because I found some of their information about their actual Link cable, and I was a little bit disappointed because
me too.
From what they told me, the Link cable is still a 5 gigabyte per second cable. So it's still basically the same spec speed-wise as what we got off of Amazon. The main thing that they told me, the reason behind the whole cable, the whole idea, is the fiber optic design is for the length, the thinness, and the flexibility of the cable, not the performance. So basically, from what I understand, from the actual Link cable, we're really not going to be getting any more perceived performance out of it. Now, I still think it's going to get better because of updates and stuff. They're going to improve the beta of the whole thing, but I was a little disappointed by that.
But I mean, that kind of kills the fact of them acting like they can't produce a cable that's long enough, though, that's a standard USB cable. I don't know why they said that then during OC6. Like, that to me doesn't make sense, that they said there's nothing out there.
Well, I mean, there's people using a 20-foot cable now because of the extension cable. I think we linked it in the description of one of the ones that a lot of people are having success with. And so, I mean, it's possible to get a long cable with what we have available right now. But the Link cable is still going to be a lot thinner and I think a lot more flexible than what these cables were using. But I don't really have too big of an issue.
No, I mean, those cables are more flexible than the cable on my Index.
Right.
So I don't see it being like a deal breaker to me. You know what I mean?
Here, yeah.
It's not a deal breaker. So I don't know. It's just a little odd to me that they say they have to have this fiber optic cable. It really is.
I really had higher hopes. And I think a lot of it is that the port that's in the Quest is only going to support so much speed anyways. The port that's inside the Quest that the USB-C connects to, I don't know what the limitations are of that. So I don't know if it's going to be possible to do. Because, I mean, there's cables that are much higher than 5 gigabyte per second. And I was thinking that with the fiber optics and all of that, they were going to be able to achieve something with a lot less latency and get a lot better performance. Because when you first tried, I think the first cable you tried was a 3-foot cable, but it was a really, really high-end cable that did a lot. There was like 20 gigabytes per second.
6-foot. It was a 6-foot that would handle 20.
6 foot. Okay, yeah. So and you're right off the bat, you were like really blown away by the thing. And we really thought at first that the main difference was that higher transfer speed, but you didn't have the other longer cable yet that showed up the next day. But then you realized there really wasn't much of you didn't notice a difference, right?
From a lot of what I've heard, though, the port actually on the Quest is limited to, I think, 150 megabytes a second. So is that their bottleneck then?
Yeah, I'm not
at that
sure.
point? And does the cable not matter? Even if we're handling 5 gigs, it doesn't even matter.
But I mean, I was using cables that were higher speed cables. I think they were like 340 megabytes a second or something like that, and they wouldn't work. I couldn't get them to work.
Sure.
So I don't know, what the limitation is exactly there. I don't know. It was really weird, but it'll still be interesting to see what changes once the actual link cable comes out, and if any of that, changes anything.
Right.
Because even watching a lot of the early impressions and videos, the people that were at OC6 and they actually tried the link with the Quest, they perceived their home experience on the cable to be less than what they perceived it at OC6. So right off the bat, that's what made me think, man, this link cable is really going to make a big difference. But I'm not sure if that's just like a placebo effect or what.
It could be. I mean, you got to think, we're still in beta for this. So it could be future-proofing by doing a fiber optic cable to where maybe they can achieve higher rates and stuff. We don't know that kind of stuff.
Right. And that's what some people are saying. GNVRS Gaming said the link cable is also future-proof. If they have a Quest 2, they could reuse the same cable, and and they could gain performance through that. And hopefully, once we get a Quest 2, if they're still going to stick with this link cable, hopefully they just include that in the package as your charging cable, your link cable all in one, instead of the cable that they send to us now. But
or by that point, is there even going to be a cable? I mean, are we going to be full wireless then at that point? I don't see why we wouldn't be.
I don't either. That's what I hope for. I think it's definitely possible. I think that's what they're going to strive for. Somebody mentioned, I can't remember who it was now in chat earlier, said that they had some luck running it through a Shadow PC, but they were only gaining I think it was Robert Dodge. Yeah, he said it, and it worked through USB forwarding, but he was only getting about 5 frames per second, so totally unplayable. But he said it worked, and he was amazed. So I think there's a lot of potential, for the future of this.
And I've been working on some things as well that I don't really want to put out there too soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some possibilities there. So it's not far off from that. So it's coming. So I just don't know. Second gen, if there's even going to be a cable. I really don't.
Yeah, I hope not. I want to get rid of the cable.
I agree.
Playing Quest games, native Quest games.
I don't think first gen there's going to be a cable on Quest. I think that's going to be out the window here shortly. I really do.
You think eventually it'll be wireless? Yeah, I think it's a good possibility for sure. I mean, we know it's possible. We know that it's already possible through virtual desktop and other means, but I think that it's definitely just going to keep getting better and better, because it is kind of a bummer to go back to the cable in a sense, but you're getting just that higher fidelity gameplay, which is so much better than a lot of the Quest games. But I honestly think this is a great start. I think that it was a successful beta so far, and I think a lot of people that just have Quest are really going to be blown away.
Well, I don't think it's the most horrible thing, though, having a cable, only because, right now you can only get, let's say, say you are streaming wirelessly to it, you're going to get a good 2 hours of gameplay, right? Well, with this cable, it does keep it powered. So you can play endless, PC gaming, to where if it's, you'd have to have a battery pack or plug it in at some point So I don't know. Is it the end of the world? I don't really think so.
I mean, I don't think so either. But the people that have never had a wire, people that have only ever had Quest wireless and playing Quest games, it's going to be weird because we're backwards. When we started, we got used to playing with this wire, and we went to a wireless headset that we played sometimes, and we had to adjust our play style to remember that we had to move, and we remember that we had that freedom. For the people on the Quest, it's completely backwards. If they've never had a PC VR headset before, they're used to playing completely wireless. And now they have to remember there's a wire that they can pull out and trip over and fall over. And ruin stuff with. So, I mean, it's a whole different ball game for them. But, I mean, ultimately, we all know wireless is the future of VR. We're gonna get there at some point. PC VR is going to be wireless at some point. Hopefully we get the wireless adapter for the Index pretty soon, hopefully. So it'll be interesting to see. But
yeah, I'm surprised that one isn't out yet either. But, maybe they'll release it with something else. We'll see. You never know.
So just real quick, this is my ghetto setup right here. So I basically don't even have, you can get a right angle connector, and I haven't even done that yet because I've been gone pretty much all last week. So I just had to test this out a little bit, but I just use Velcro to strap it onto the back. So hopefully I don't rip it out of my headset. But like I said, I haven't played a whole lot yet. And I'm pretty used to playing wired VR. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm
that's
used
all
to
we've
being
ever
conscious
played,
about that cable. So you definitely do want to, if you're just getting into this PC VR game of using a wire, then you definitely want to make sure you anchor it to the headset somehow. So if you do step on it, you don't rip the thing out of your headset.
Well, the nice thing is, though, a lot of these cables, actually, I think every one that I purchased came with one of the Velcro wire ties. So just that alone, you could fasten it to the headset with the one it comes with. I think every one I bought came with one, except for maybe the Type-C extension. But yeah.
And it'll be interesting too. Like Anakaze just said, did you try the ceiling cable leashes yet? And I have not done that, but that is still an option for, you know, even for Quest people.
I can't do it because I mean, in front of me, I have 3 headsets right here. So when I swap between, I can't just swap the cables. Now I get, you know, everyone's basically going to have one headset that they use all the time. So it would absolutely be an option.
That's the only
and it does. A lot of people like it, though.
That's the only thing that's kept me from doing it as well, is because I have so many headsets that I use and I'm constantly swapping between that I don't know how to do that whole thing with, you know, switching between cables all the time. But I think it's a great option. I think it's, you know, the next best thing to wireless is to have the overhead cable that's really gonna help you out. But yeah,
the only thing like with pistol whip, that doesn't even matter because you're still just standing in one direction facing one way that you're not getting tied up. But like a lot of first person shooters though, you get tangled up real quick. A lot of games
it's not hard to get tangled up for sure.
No, absolutely. I was actually just playing pistol whip before we went live.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, my legs.
That's what you're saying. We had some issues.
I go so hard.
Tyler ran down the stairs real quick to get something. He ran back up and he came back. He's like, "Oh my goodness, my legs hurt so bad." I was just playing pistol whip for a while, and so I actually haven't got to play much of anything this whole week. I was in Vegas, like I said. I didn't take my Quest headset with me. That we just had a lot of stuff going on there, and so I didn't take it with me. But I definitely have been missing some VR. And the only thing I've played since getting back is Espire 1. That was the only thing I've played so far. I just played that today. I wanted to be able to get in there and play that some to talk about on the show. I don't know if we should jump into that or if we should go into the Valve game. I don't know. I don't know where to start.
Why don't we let chat figure that one out? Because either one to me, I mean, they're both really big things. I mean,
there's so many
Espire
big things this week.
We thought, I don't know, we thought was going to be huge, or was kind of promoted pretty big, and now we have Half-Life, Alyx, and now that's the big one.
And still haven't even had enough time to play Stormland or anything yet. Which, real quick on Stormland, I think I need to delete my save file because they had some issues when it first came out that jumping into multiplayer stuff was corrupting the file, and I can't get past. Like so I got to the Cloud Reach area, and I got there right when you jumped in with me when we got the first night. And so I've went back in and I've spent tons and tons of time trying to figure out but it won't let me advance. It keeps telling me to go to the Cloud Reach, but I'm already there. So it won't let me advance anywhere past that. So I think I need to just go ahead and delete it.
Maybe I have to jump back in with you. Maybe
I don't know, maybe so, but because I played that a little bit for a while before we left for Vegas, but So
yeah, they're asking how does Link compare to Virtual Desktop. I actually haven't used Virtual Desktop to try anything. Have you, Sean? I don't know.
I did, but it was early.
You did,
so
right?
I used it when it first came out, and that was before it got removed from the store. And it was pretty good. I mean, there's been a lot of improvements, so I can't really talk on it how well it is now. I know they just recently did some more improvements, but from everything I've heard and stuff, the link cable is still superior to the wireless streaming right now, but I think that's going to change. But
sure it is.
Yeah,
I think it's coming. I really do.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get into Espire 1, man. Okay. I mean, I really want to talk about Half-Life because that hype is so real, but I really do want to get into Espire 1. I just it was so hyped for so long and delayed and promised and everything in between. What do you think? Are you into it? I mean,
so like I said, today was the first day that I played it. It's been out since I think Thursday. Today was the first time I got to jump into it. I think I played for 35 to 45 minutes, something like that. And this is actually my initial first time going in gameplay. And one thing that a lot of people are complaining about was the vignette that is on.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And there is a way to turn that off. I do it in here. I think it's under Comfort. Yeah, and it's called the Espire Control Theater, which they said that they're going to be doing some updates to change that because I was like, where is the vignette? Like, I don't know. So I figured maybe it was that. So I toggled that off and went back in, and that was what turned off the main blinders. I do still wish, even though you see the lines on the side, I do still wish I could get that completely off. Like, I prefer nothing in my visual. I understand you're like in a cyborg robot body.
You're supposed to think you're in a,
So I understand that, but for me, I just don't like anything in my peripheral
I kind of
view.
forgot about them. Like, after the first minute, I don't really think I noticed them again.
You do. I mean, the game definitely has some glitches and stuff, and you can kind of see there, like, sometimes when and I don't know if this is supposed to happen, but like when my hand like goes to the outside of that little vignette part, a lot of times it'll start to show the overlay of my touch controller. I was playing it on the Rift S. And I don't know if that's supposed to do that, but it was really weird. And like when it would do that, I was kind of looking at it and the buttons, it was showing me like the A and B buttons on the side of the controller instead of the front. So I can't imagine that's supposed to be happening. But
no, it's the back of the texture that they must be showing.
Doing it. See how I'm kind of showing.
It did it to me too, and I was actually playing it on the Quest. So both of them are this either whatever build they're using or what are their hand animations that's doing it for both of them.
Yeah.
I noticed that too because I mean you're constantly moving your hands around, so
I
mean little things like that.
Yeah, that was weirding me out. It's kind of bugging me how it was there sometimes. Sometimes it would disappear. So the game is definitely buggy. Like I ran into a couple bugs. It did crash on me like twice. So the first time I loaded it up, it popped up the game and then it just crashed and gave me an error message. I don't remember what the message was, but that was kind of a little bit frustrating. And the main part about it being frustrating is that the game was delayed. You know, the game, I think originally was supposed to come out in September or something like that. And they delayed it and pushed it back, but there still seems like there's little issues that they didn't quite get right, which I understand this is a smaller development team. It's not a huge development team. And I know they are working on getting stuff fixed and they're hearing the community of what they're saying. But overall...
And it does look good. Yeah, it's a great game. Yeah. It really is a good game. I mean, we're not knocking it, you know, because it does play well. It's got, you know, big levels and stuff. It does load often. For me, I played it on the Quest, so it may be a little different.
I haven't played it on the Quest yet.
Before we came on, Sean and I were actually talking about our experiences a little bit too. And Robert Dodge made the same point. Is I said, you know, to Sean, for Quest, this is a huge game. You know, to be running this type of game in this size, type of game scale.
You talking about on Quest?
On the Quest, it's kind of in its own category right now. On PC, maybe not as much. I don't think so. But I did play it on the Quest, and it played really well.
Yeah, I need to try that on the Quest.
I had an issue with climbing. I just don't think it was an issue with the game. It's more probably just my play style. It could be too, or the mechanics in it. It could be. But the grab points, like when I was climbing a wall, and coming from Stormland, just doing all this, where it was like I could run up a wall if I wanted to and throw myself off. This felt, I don't know, a little basic or broken just from playing that. But I don't, you know, that's me. But honestly, if you like a game like Metal Gear Solid and you've wanted to play that in VR, amazing game. Great.
Yeah, it is. It gives really that feeling for sure. I mean, and a lot of the complaints is the graphics and stuff. And I didn't think the graphics were so bad. They are kind of bland environments. You know, again, it's hard because we're coming from Stormlands that is graphically, you know, a beautiful game. So many colors popping and stuff. And then you're going into this game that's kind of a dark, dreary environment, you know, not full of a ton of color and stuff. But that didn't really bother me too much. I thought the graphics were good. And, I mean, color-wise, it is, you know, not the most colorful game ever, but...
And Madman Bob 180 in chat was saying that the AI is an issue for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I would probably agree with that.
Yeah, I mean the bad thing is that it is a, you know, the stealth kind of a game, but they almost made the AI not quite good enough because it's not even really a challenge. And then the video here, I was kind of just trying to roll through the beginning so I could get a feel for it. So I wasn't really taking my time or anything. And I do want to go back in there and spend more time to actually, you know, think about moves and stuff. I was kind of just blasting away, testing things out. But it really isn't that good. I got stuck on the thing here. I was going to try to destroy it,
turret.
And I literally got stuck on it, and I couldn't move for a minute.
Actually, if you off your chest, if you grab the little
the repair tool,
the taser deal, the repair tool, you can shock the heads and stuff.
Okay, nice. Yeah, see, like I said, I haven't taken the time to figure out all the odds and ends, but I mean, it is a fun game, and you know, once you really take the time to get in there and plan your moves and plan the things, it does play well, and I think that I'm gonna like it the more I play it. I think one of the issues is the AI. I think and I don't know how much the AI increases difficulty throughout the game. I don't think it does a whole lot, but I think they increase the number of combatants and stuff. I would prefer less enemies, but smarter enemies. I would prefer less of them that I more strategically have to take out, you know, one at a time or something, instead of just more enemies that are a little bit, you know, I don't know. And the other thing...
I get it. I know. I actually had more fun running around and getting them to come after me just to get them to do something and go, you know, instead of just sneaking around, because that kind of felt too easy a little bit.
I mean, you could sneak and them not even really notice you. Like, You know what I mean? Like they should be a little bit more alert than what they are. I mean, you're
Sure.
making noise, you're doing things, your footsteps aren't silent, you know, like, but
Right.
they're like, they almost never see you until you're like right in front of them. So that was a little bit kind of weird for me. And another thing that I didn't like, and we're going to talk about BONEWORKS soon, which this is one of the main reasons I think I don't like it, but in this game, you can move the bodies and you can put them somewhere else, but they're completely weightless. Like when you pick up that body, it feels like you're picking up nothing. So like the one time I just picked it up and threw it and he just went like flying up in the air. I'm like, it doesn't feel right. You know, it doesn't feel like there's any weight to that body that you're struggling to move. And that's one thing that BONEWORKS is doing that makes me excited, is the fact that, you know, things have weight and there's more physics to the game. But
Sure.
yeah.
I know, like here.
Yeah. So I just like I mean, it like was completely weightless. Like felt like
Same
there was
as a coffee
no
cup.
Yeah, like it felt like there was no weight to the body whatsoever, which was I think
shed
that
scale,
if you're gonna hide the bodies and stuff from other people, I think it should be a little bit more challenging. Like I think you should move slower when you're moving the body. You know, I mean, in real life you can't just grab a body and throw it over your shoulder one handed and hide it somewhere, you know. So
some people might be able to, but
yeah, not me, but but yeah, so that is one complaint that I had. But overall, I think that to give it
Beachbody Bros. You should be able to.
Right. I got to play that game some more, get back in shape. The results didn't last long from that game, unfortunately.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I really think that I need to get in there and give it some more time for sure before I can really give it a for sure, you know, what my thoughts.
I get it. Honestly, though, for Quest, I think it's a great game.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's awesome. We need more games like this on Quest, just to, you know, when people get a Quest for Christmas, this game would be amazing to have because there's nothing else like it.
I agree.
You know, right now it's saturated with rhythm games and stuff, so we need a little bit of break in that. So it's a great game. I really do like it, but it can mature a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're going to improve it. I think we're going to see improvements. And it's harder too, like you said, for us coming from PC VR. You know, we just got Asgard's Wrath, we just got Stormland, you know, we just got all these big games that, you know, it's hard for anybody to compete with some of those games that had these massive budgets and stuff. And this here, I was supposed to run up on them and say freeze, but when I did that, it just put everything in slow motion. It didn't freeze at all. So I was like, I'm not really sure what is going on here. So I'm not sure what I did wrong, but that part didn't work in the game for me.
It froze
I'm sure it was something I did, but then I was like, why is he shooting me? He was supposed to be froze. Right. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, but like I said, I do want to get back in there and just spend some more time.
Gun mechanics worked pretty well for me, though. I didn't really have an issue with the gun mechanics, gun angles, stuff like that. But
and I thought the repairing was kind of weird too, because you're repairing items on you that are out in front of you, which I understand you're in like a robotic exoskeleton kind of a thing, but it makes more sense to me like to touch it to your physical body. I don't know. That was kind of strange to me, but it wasn't bad. But I mean, this game's been in development for a long time, so I think for me, I expected a little bit more.
That's what I was just gonna say. Did you expect more? Because that's what I feel everybody is. You know, if we heard nothing about this game and it dropped, people would love it. But I feel like the hype on this was way too high for what it was when it released, and I think that's why all the reviews are a little on the lower side. Now, Quest though reviews actually are pretty good. They look
pretty good, yeah.
So I think, you know, it's doing pretty strong on Quest. But yeah, I think your build is the same that's on Quest actually as well. So
So gaming science teacher just said dumb AI will be good for me because I'm bad at these kind of games. But I think they should have maybe a difficulty selector or something. Progression, or just select, you know, what level of difficulty you want. You know, easy, medium, hard. I mean, that's not too bad. But it's Paradise Case of the same thing. Espire 1 is great, just needs harder AI. And so I mean, it is a good game. I think it's going to get better. I think they're going to improve this game because I think they've come too far now I don't think they're going to abandon it or anything. You know, I think they're going to continue to make it better. And I think, like you said, I think it's probably going to do really well on Quest. And I need to play it on Quest. I haven't done that, so I look forward to it.
So Greg's VR in chat said, I like this time slot. They should rebrand to Wine in VR.
Does that mean we just have a show where we wine the whole time, or do we drink wine?
Yeah, no, that's not the wine he's talking about.
Okay.
He wants to see us barely get to the end of it. But
if
we drink wine how we drink coffee, man. That was
you had an idea one time. You said next time I come back, and I can't remember how it worked exactly, but we were going to take a shot, like go shot for shot or something.
So a long
something
time
ridiculous.
Ago, time ago, I'm a car guy. We both are. So the Top Gear guys had their own channel on Facebook, and they actually did a video where they built Legos and got answered questions alternatively, and every time they got the question wrong, they had to do a shot. They couldn't even finish the Legos by the end of it. And I was dying watching this thing. It progressively gets worse, but no, we're not doing that.
That could be really bad.
That would be trouble. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
But yeah. So, anyways, back on VR,
exactly.
not drinking and all that. You
right.
know?
No,
But so I think it is a cool game, though. Definitely curious to see what everybody thinks. I think everybody so far, what I've seen in chat, everybody's thoughts are pretty similar to the fact of, AI needs to be a little bit better, and there's some improvements that can definitely be made, and I think it will get better. But it's a cool game. Definitely cool. I'm really interested now to see how Panther VR is going to compare to this, because they were both kind of similar games in an aspect, of the stealth and stuff. And they even looked a little bit similar, and I'll be interested to see what they do, because now this game has come out early. They see what, people are complaining about, what people liked, what they didn't like, and they can improve their game from there. So I am interested to see what they'll do. I think that game comes out next year, but...
Yeah, that sucks to be the guinea pig, but I mean, if you come out of the hole, great. I mean,
I still think they're going to do good because of Quest. I think a lot of people, because if I only had a Quest right now, and all these big titles, I didn't have a PC to do anything with Link, I would be way more hyped about this game than what I am now. I really would be. But I mean, as far as right now, I still want to jump back into Stormland. That's still what has, Stormland, and even Pistol Whip. You were playing Pistol Whip today. That still has a lot of my
jumped in, played a couple songs and stuff. I mean, it's so easy to get into. Like, I love stuff like that. And same thing with Quest. Just jump in, play a little bit.
That's the nice thing about the rhythm games like that, is it is quick sessions. If you don't have a lot of time, you jump in, you jump out. These kind of games you can't just jump in and out of so quickly. It's more time commitment. Bad thing is now
is in Pistol Whip, I'm so low on the rankings. Because before, I was number 7 before it dropped to everybody else. So I'm like, cool, I'm way up there.
Oh yeah.
Now it was like, thousands and thousands. So I played one of them, got up to 450. I'm like, all right, I'm getting better. But man, the goals really so good. People. I love leaderboards.
Yeah,
oh, it's so good.
It is cool.
Actually, somebody, who was it? Shiny Robot on our Discord
he was way up there.
2 on one of the songs.
He was way up there. He was way up there. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing.
But
I know that's good stuff.
Can we just talk about Half-Life now?
Wait, okay. Before I just want to thank Valve and all the guys that have been working on this for making our VR dreams come true. I know they've been working hard on this. I really just want to thank them. You have no idea. I just want to start there. That's all. I mean, honestly, this week has just been huge for VR. I mean, to me, with Link and this, they're 2 totally different game changers. One's at one spectrum, one's at the other. Oh,
the hands look too good.
Oh, it's so good. I know. I want those hands, man. Hard.
I mean, it's crazy. Just looking at the picture of these hands, like the detail. Like, I can't even remember who it was now. Somebody said, I don't remember if it was on Reddit or the Discord or something. They were saying that if the wrinkles in the rug of the old Oculus home drove people crazy, that this is going to be the next thing, because the picture probably isn't big enough here where anybody can see it really, but the skin underneath, the dirt underneath the fingernails and stuff, I mean, it's really detailed. Like, I mean, the fingernails look real. Like, there is grit and grime underneath the fingernails, which we're not used to seeing that extra bit, especially in VR games, and I don't know how that's going to portray into the game, but
I mean, you couldn't even see little things like that before, now you will be able to, but oh, I know. There's so much goodness with this.
Can we play the trailer and then we'll get more into it? I know everybody's seen this trailer, and I've seen it like a million times, but I can watch it a million times more.
I know.
Oh, we got Espire 1 playing here. So audio should be on this one. Let's just let this play through for a second and drool.
Okay. Man, refill. Is the audio on this? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm here. So what's the plan?
If we can get this weapon, what we're doing here could change things forever.
There's no straight shot to the vault. I'm gonna head inside, find a way out.
Gun pro. Best part.
I'm with you every step of the way.
You're gonna need a gun! Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now! Combine chatter's really picking up. They know you're coming. You need to get out of here, now. Oh, God.
They've got Dad.
They're gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alyx Vance alone cannot prevent his fate. Close your eyes, honey!
That's what dreams are made of, man.
Oh man, seriously.
So good. It's so good.
I'm just gonna let this loop in the background.
Everything about it. Make sure you kill the audio though. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much inside of this. I mean, from the puzzle stuff to, I mean, walls to just, I mean, destructibles to
moving just items. Like when he goes up to that shelf,
gosh.
the things you can move, like those are things that I miss in VR because these are the things that I think need to be in VR because it breaks the immersion when you go up to a shelf or something and you go to try to interact with something and there's no interaction at all. It just makes the world feel dead compared to when all these things like BONEWORKS, you know, the interactions they're putting in there and stuff. That's what I think is going to really make these games start to even feel more alive. You know, when we first got into VR, it was easy to be blown away, and now it's getting harder and harder, unfortunately. But these are the next kind of levels of things that happen. And one of the best things I think about this game, absolute best thing about this game, VR only.
I know.
It is
VR
only.
I agree. I know.
I mean, how huge is that potentially going to be for VR? I mean, but the bad thing is
forever. We need the AAA VR games to bring people to VR.
Yeah, exclusive to VR. I mean, that there and you can see the outlash now. I mean, there are flat gamers going crazy because of this. I mean, they are not happy. What are their choices? Their choices are miss out on this game or get into VR and really experience this game like it's meant to be experienced.
Never play Half-Life. I get it. I know.
I mean, it's that to me is the biggest game changer, I think, and that is something I'm very happy that Valve chose to do.
Like, people are saying, oh, they're not going to sell many copies and stuff. This game will live forever. You will buy it forever. People still play the old Half-Lives. They still go back and play them. So when VR 5 years from now is popular and people go back and buy this game, it's still going to live on. They're still going to sell it. So you can't tell me that nobody's going to buy it and 1% of people are going to buy it because of VR. They will buy VR to play this game.
Right.
They will. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to live in a game? Like, not
especially for the people that are so diehard, you know, Half-Life people and stuff. I mean, even if you're not sold on VR, like, this should sell you because you've played this game that you've watched on a screen for so long, and now you get to enter into the world of this game. And that's just, I mean, like, I've never been as big, like, a huge Half-Life person. Like, I haven't played much of the Half-Life series and stuff, you know. But for people that have, you know, I can imagine the games that I did spend tons and tons of time in and going into those games instead of just seeing them, you know. Man, it's just huge.
I never play. I played a little bit. I think I got it when it came. I think it came with Orange Box or something with Portal and stuff.
Yeah, I can remember. I played a lot of Portal.
Yeah, but see, I was so into Portal and stuff at the time that I never really played it. So it never really, you know, grabbed me, but it doesn't matter. You know, I don't know the backstory with Half-Life. I don't care. This is amazing.
Yeah. So
visually, gameplay, everything on this looks unbelievable.
So, I mean,
the world setting.
Not only is this getting all of the diehard Half-Life people, it's also getting the people that aren't diehard Half-Life people that are just super excited about this game because of how good it looks, because of what it's going to bring to VR. And I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And they did say, you know, that this is going to be best played on the Index. You know, with Index controllers, there's going to be things you can do on the Index that you won't be able to do on other headsets, but it's going to work on other headsets too. So you're still, you don't have to have an Index. And one of the great things about if you do have an Index, or you're thinking about picking up an Index or Index controllers before the end of the year, you get this for free.
Oh yeah.
You get this game for free. So that's even, I mean, that's even better. So that means that this game is, once it's released, is just going to show up in your library. They said you don't even have to do anything to download it. There's no code, as far as I know, that you're just going to have the game. And it's supposed to be what, March of next year, I believe, is the release, is March. So, I mean,
it is,
we had notes, and I haven't even looked at them at all this time because we've been so excited about these
oh my gosh,
of topics.
So this trailer on Valve's YouTube is almost 7.5 million views right now.
That's awesome.
In three days. That's
incredible.
What,
Thursday, right? Yeah,
isn't it?
Thursday. Yeah, I was in Vegas.
That's amazing.
And we were doing a bunch of stuff, and I was trying to, where I was at, my internet wasn't working very good, and I was trying to watch the reveal trailer, and I was like, oh my goodness. I think I sent it to you. I sent you the link right away, and I was like, dude, this looks so good, and we were both excited.
I was like one of
the
first couple, I think it was like the first 100 views or something of the video, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Man, it was crazy.
I was sending it to friends that, flat gamers and stuff, because I'm like, look, there's no excuse to not have VR right now.
Absolutely no excuse.
Say it's not comparable. The graphics aren't comparable. Like, this will be an experience, people. Come on. Like, and even if you don't like shooters, like, this game will have so much depth to it that it won't just be any type of shooter. You know,
I mean, this is going to kind of cover a whole lot of genres, because it's even going to tap a little bit of the horror genre as well. There's going to be some scary parts in this game, as well as, just the shooter aspect, the puzzle aspect, the adventure. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, people are saying already in library and stuff. And actually, if you don't have an index, it is 10% off on the pre-order. I'm sure, that is right now. It'll probably run that until it goes live. Yeah, it's 10% off right now. I think it's like 50%.
And they also said that if you have the index and stuff, that you're going to get some extras for free too. And I don't know what those are yet. I don't know what else, but there's supposed to be some other things that if you already have the index or you get the index beforehand, you're supposed to be getting some other extras, they said too, which I'm not sure what that is. But
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they actually list the Quest with Link as one of the headsets that will work on it?
I'm not sure. Probably. I mean, it should work.
Which kind of cracks me up, which it should, exactly.
Yeah, it should work.
But, they're not being biased towards, just having to have the index to play it only.
Yeah. So Robert Dodge said, then you find out it's only 6 hours long. I actually heard 15 hours. I heard the full campaign was said to be right around 15 hours. So hopefully the 15-hour mark is right. Other than the 6, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I haven't played it yet. But either way, even 6 hours, I would be thrilled to death to just get inside of this world. But and another thing that we're looking at is that there's gonna be I
was just gonna say
customization, workshop, and we don't know exactly what that means yet, because they could give us the tools to do that, or they could release the actual code to where people are going to be able to just, absolutely go berserk with modding.
Sort of. It's probably going to work how their old stuff did, because I think that's how Counter-Strike was out of Half-Life. From mods. So, if that's the fact, they'll have different game modes and whatever anybody wants to implement. So this game will definitely live on forever, and that's going to be in VR too. You know? So,
we have already seen just with Beat Saber alone how much being able to mod something to an extent.
Pavlov.
Pavlov.
That game lives on. That's one of the highest played games. That and Beat Saber, and they both have Beat Saber sort of does, but customized, maps and levels and stuff. And that's why they're so popular, because it's so massive. There's so many maps and levels and songs to download that it can be as big as you want.
I can't wait. We don't know for sure what that's going to look like yet, but if that is the case of how, you're able to mod stuff with this and game modes and all kinds of stuff, absolutely.
Yep.
The game is
so
just
to me, if the game's 5 hours long, what do I care? Because there's going to be 100 more hours in gameplay from other people, that create stuff.
Yep.
So to me, it doesn't matter, because visually, and if they can recreate this inside of what people create, it would be unbelievable.
Yeah,
how this looks like it runs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I really think this is going to be a pretty big game changer for VR. It's going to sell headsets no matter how you look at it, because this game is VR only. If they would have went the other route and had a flat version and a VR version, there would have been a lot less people that wanted to play in VR. They would have been perfectly happy just playing it on flat screen, because they didn't know any better technically. But so they said that supposedly this game's been in development for like 4.5 years, that they've been testing and working. And first it was just prototypes and stuff and messing around, but one of the big things that people are freaking out a little bit about was the fact that basically this whole game is built around teleportation, which is kind of a bummer in a sense, but they've already committed, they've committed to the different game movement styles. There's 3. So there's teleportation, there's a dash movement where, A to B, you move quickly, and a dash kind of a thing. And then there's free locomotion. So they have committed to all 3 of those being in the game. So I'm sure all 3 of them will. Supposedly right now, the free locomotion is almost unplayable in the current build. So that is something that they're,
which is interesting. Yeah. I wonder if it is just too high quality.
I think the thing is that the game, they've been working on this for so long that back then, teleportation seemed like the good option, because there was a lot of people that suffer from motion sickness. Everybody kind of played it
Right.
safe, but I think
True.
I would have thought they would have added that in a lot
By now.
sooner.
Sure. I mean, you'd want to know how it plays and looks and stuff, but
yeah,
maybe
I don't know.
not.
It's kind of weird to me. And
So I was just looking though. Their requirements are a GTX 1060 for minimum.
Ooh.
Yep, is minimum. Which I'm actually surprised it's not higher than that.
Me too.
Actually.
Me too.
Just from visually how it looks, that seems pretty low to me actually. And they're kind of known for being maxing out systems. So I would think minimum would almost be a 1080 Ti at this point
you'd think
for
so.
this caliber of game.
They probably can't. They probably can't do that because there's not enough people that have that higher end stuff yet. I don't know, but it's a good thing if you can run this on a 1060. I hope that is the case. And it runs good on a 1060. If you turn things down enough and stuff, hopefully that won't be an issue at all. But yeah, I don't know.
Visually though, this just looks incredible.
It does. And
what they're doing with lighting, textures, all of it.
And I am glad that they are adding free locomotion, because in a world like this where you do explore and stuff, it does feel very limiting, to only have a teleportation. And some people are fine with that. Some people prefer teleportation, but I'm always of the mindset that give people the options, and especially in a game like this that's going to be this big, that I'm glad that they are adding the free locomotion. They still have till March, so I'm sure they'll get all of that, worked out and everything. And he said
some of the
doesn't mean pretty. Yeah, minimum doesn't mean pretty. Yeah,
I know. Yep. So whether they're two VR games, yeah, it is. It's going to be probably. Do you think it's going to be the biggest game we see in the next year? I mean,
it's so hard to say because it's only March. But how do you really top this right now? Is there a way to top? There's. GTA 6, an official GTA 6.
Sure.
That's probably one of the biggest flat games there is. One of the biggest. I don't know, but. I think there are still ways to absolutely wow people. There's still going to be things that could come out and absolutely blow you away. But this is going to be really hard to beat.
Valve's games live on forever and are replayable forever. So to me, I don't know. I don't know if somebody's even going to top this next year. I really don't.
Hey, I welcome the challenge of somebody doing it. Yeah, exactly, I'm totally down. But this is going to be an absolute epic game for real.
It's got everything that makes it live on too. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah.
And those user-created content.
Those gravity hands. Oh man, it's so cool. Those gloves. It's so awesome. The only complaint that I have, that I have so far, and I know other people have said this too, and everybody's different. But the full body, the floating hands, I feel like this game coming out, when it's coming out, I feel like we're kind of past that point a little bit. And some people don't like the arms. Some people don't like seeing a body. They don't like having arms. I'm the opposite. We have it in Stormland, contractors that we play all the time. You have a full body, you have arms, and you can look down and see your body and stuff. And that is one thing, especially with BONEWORKS, the physics and stuff that they're coming out with. You got full body in that game, and we know that they've worked with Valve to some extent with that game and stuff. I'm kind of surprised we still have the floating hands. That is a little bit disappointing.
It doesn't bother me. I don't think that's something I go in and look at and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't see my arms.
I don't think it takes away from it too much, but I still prefer it. Like, I can play a game with floating hands, and I don't know, almost for a trailer wise, I think for people that don't understand VR, I think it does make a big difference in trailers, because I've shown people trailers when VR was first really catching on and stuff, and they were like, well, why do you have floating hands? Like, the floating hands make no sense because they don't, they can't envision themselves being in it. But once you're in the game, it's not as much of a game breaker, but I still do prefer the full body. For some reason, to me, it kind of helps translate.
But this game shows off what it is like to be in VR, but it still looks like what people go as high quality and flat game.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a VR game. Looking at this trailer, if I wouldn't know better, I would argue that this isn't a VR game. There's no way. It looks too good.
But the finger movement and like flicking the gun up right there and everything, the reload, that's not something you do in a flat game. So not with those characteristics, it would be too animated. It would be too of the same thing. But like all that.
So do you think this is going to be the first game to really show off the index controllers, or is BONEWORKS going to be the first game to really show off the index controllers?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. I think
BONEWORKS is going to be more physics. Well,
But we're just talking
I don't
hands.
know.
We're just talking hands, picking
Yeah,
that
I mean, they're probably
interactions.
both going to feel the same way when it comes to all that. So,
I have a
you
feeling.
know, no game has really utilized.
Right.
But see, it's hard because really Knuckles, there's not a whole lot that you're getting out of the full finger tracking. I mean,
But you don't know.
What?
Well, but you haven't played Half-Life yet. You know,
I
I mean,
get it.
right
I
now,
know, I
right now
get
there
it, I
really
get it.
is no benefit. I mean, the things that we're playing right
Right.
now, you really don't have any benefit. But depending on how
Right.
they implement and stuff, I still don't think it's going to be a huge benefit. But it is those little things. You know, we know it's the little things in VR that kind of make us go wow, or you know, kind of that one next step to feeling a little bit more real. You know, sometimes
Sure.
I mean, in this game, it might be. I don't know.
It is. It's little
Yeah,
things.
and I'm
Don't get
hoping
me
they
wrong,
do
but-
have the physics of BONEWORKS and the fact of weight and stuff. You know, we talked about Espire 1.
Yeah.
You know, I want things to have some weight to move. If it's a heavy object, I shouldn't be able to just flick it of a wrist and it just go flying through the air. You know,
Sure.
It needs to have some kind of weight. And I'm sure that they probably did do that with this game. I have a feeling. But
So, do you think this game will draw people to actually buy the index or not?
It would me. If I didn't have the
Would it?
index, if I didn't have the index right now, and I knew this game was coming out and that I could get the game for free with an index, so that's, you know, a discount from there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I did not have an index, this would totally tempt me. I'm curious to see if anybody in
Okay,
chat.
but what if you had a headset? What if you had a Rift S? Let's say you have a Rift S and a pretty decent PC rig. What would you do? Do you just play it on the Rift S?
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have a choice, if I, you know, if I had the choice, you know, some money set aside or whatever that I could buy an index,
Wanted to upgrade?
I would
right?
absolutely do it. I mean, the thing is that there is a visual upgrade from an index
Sure. there
from
is.
a Rift S. There
Well,
is
yeah.
definitely the field of view. You know, the field of view is
Yep.
much better in a game like this. I mean, field of any game to me, the field of view helps. I mean, the field
Audio.
of view really helps. The audio. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. The audio is a major improvement. Even, I mean, I use the Bionic Mantis headphones on my Rift S, and they're pretty good. You know, the audio is pretty good, but the index audio. I mean,
Yeah.
especially in a game like this where there's going to be these creepy scenes and these things going
Oh
on.
my
I mean,
gosh, yeah.
that pulls you in so much more because the index audio feels like you're in the game world where regular headphones feel like you have headphones on. You know what I mean? I don't know. And the Rift
It
S,
does.
you
Sure.
know, the Rift S and the Quest without headphones, really, I don't think you're going to do this game justice with the built-in audio. I don't think so. But
No.
if it was me,
Nope.
I would be totally tempted to buy an index.
I mean, even if you just have a Quest and think you're going to play PC, I mean, it's just two totally different, you know, beasts. I mean, the Index is a premium headset.
is.
I mean, there's nothing about it that I don't like. It's my absolute go-to headset.
See?
So it's hard for me to not recommend it, you know?
Yeah. So even Paradise Decay, he said, I wasn't going to bother with index. The Rift S suits me fine. He said, but now I want an index. And I think that's going to
Yeah.
be, I think
Sure.
as much as this game is going to be a VR seller, I think this game is going to be an index seller as well. Because in all honesty,
Right.
you know, if you had a Rift S and you had, you know, a CV, well, maybe not a CV1, but a Rift S, you know, whatever, things in that equivalent, you know, you might not be as tempted to buy an index. But I think now
Sure.
there is that extra little bit of motivation for a game
yeah.
that's going to utilize the controllers so much better and stuff like that.
And this thing, if you have a good enough PC, will probably run perfect at 120 hertz because
man,
they
I hope
probably
so.
designed it to run like that. So
and that's another big benefit. You're getting 80 hertz on a
huge.
Rift S. You're getting 80 hertz. I mean, you have the potential to do 144 hertz on the index. If
140,
this thing,
sure.
if
If
it's
you
gonna,
can-
if you can do it, I don't know. We don't know yet. That's gonna be a
Right.
tough one. But I mean, even 120, doing 120
Yeah,
hertz,
120
you know,
is
with
great.
the wider field of view, the better visuals, the better controllers.
Yep.
In this sense,
getting
at least,
getting the game for free or
getting the game for
money
free.
off if you want to look at it that way, you know, however
Yeah.
you see it. But
I think it's
yeah,
going to be a
it's-
seller. It is going to be an index seller, I think. I don't know
It
how
is.
much. I mean, because not everybody has $1,000 to drop on a
Exactly.
full bundle if they don't have
Right.
base stations and stuff. And I get that. I mean, if that's the case, you know, Rift S and whatever you have is still a great option. I think the game's still going to play
still-
great, but you know,
Right.
you might want to start saving for the index. You might want to
Right.
put a little
You're,
money aside.
we're still at that price point where they haven't moved it, where you can buy a Rift S and a Quest for less than the price of it. So
Well, they
if
have
you don't
dropped.
have
I mean, Black
anything-
Friday we're getting $50 off the Rift S. So I mean,
That's what I mean. Yeah. So that's even
350 and
cheaper. Yeah.
$399. Yeah.
I know. So what, for $750 you can have both of them
Yeah.
essentially. So that's hard, and
don't
get
know.
all the Star Wars games for free too now. So
Is it
it's-
all of them?
Yeah, all three. Yeah.
What if you buy
Pretty
a
sure.
Quest or something?
I
remember hearing something about that deal. I can't remember.
Until January 31st, if I'm
Okay,
not
nice.
mistaken.
Awesome. See,
Yeah.
I've had trouble
So-
keeping up with everything this week because usually, I'm on my phone 24/7 seeing what's, getting dropped and people are talking about and
know.
everything else. And this week has just been a crazy week. So I've been trying to keep up with the main things, of this game and, what people were saying about Link and checking out Espire 1. And
It's so
been a
hard for
crazy
me
week.
though to wait till March for this.
Oh, I know. It's going to be hard for
It's
everybody.
I know it's such a tease,
And
I hope,
hopefully-
hopefully they tease more.
That's what I was
just
thinking,
at
yeah.
least want to see more on it. You
Well,
know?
I mean, even Stormland, they were giving us stuff like once a week up to release there for a couple
I
weeks.
actually liked
and-
that.
Yeah.
That was really cool because every time I saw a new video, I was just as excited like it was the first time for
Yeah.
me. So
So-
I do hope they do that. But they're usually pretty secretive about their stuff, and it's pretty planned on when they release stuff. Which they dropped this basically when they dropped Link. So
Yeah, right around the same time. Yeah,
I mean, pretty dang
We kind
close,
of
so-
suspected maybe they would do something with the Link, the same time frame with what they did with F8 and stuff. They like to play
Yep.
some games and all that.
I know.
I don't know how much of that is really planned or if it's I don't know, but it definitely
I know.
definitely
Could you
seems like
imagine
it's planned. Some
if they dropped this game with wireless, like
oh,
at the
my
same
goodness,
time.
dude, don't even say
gosh.
that. I never even thought about that.
Take my money. I mean, just take it. at
Yeah,
that point.
seriously.
Oh,
Absolutely
I couldn't
insane.
imagine. Which we know they have to be working on it, but they do work on stuff for a long time. But don't get me wrong, it's pretty perfect when it comes out, unless your left joystick doesn't click in when you run. But
Mine still doesn't. I never RMA'd mine.
I
Well,
didn't either. I
I'm
know.
guessing this game won't have any click function. Is my guess. They won't put anything in there for to click the thumbsticks. I don't know. But,
I know.
And the index is available now in Canada and a couple of other countries that it wasn't available in before. So
Sure.
that's pretty cool too. If you were somebody that was in another country that it wasn't available for, it is available to order now. I know Canada is one of them. I can't remember the other, maybe Japan or something. I can't remember the other, Australia.
I can't
Oh,
wait. I
man.
really can't.
The VR Mag is hooking us up today. So he just sent another super chat, which we
really do
absolutely
appreciate
appreciate.
it. Totally unnecessary. We really do though, guys. We really
Yeah, it's so
appreciate it.
awesome. So he
I know.
didn't even leave a message with that one. So.
I know. What the heck?
Oh, man,
I'll
we
play
really
with his
appreciate it.
quest probably dropping back in. That's probably why.
So real quick, is the Green Man gaming deal still going on? I know we both picked up a bunch of the deals. I'm not
so
sure when that
VR
ends.
Mang is the one that dropped that, and
Yeah,
I
that's what made
actually
me think of
did.
it.
So I picked up, which I don't know if it's still going on. I would assume it probably is because that was only 2 days ago, I think. But I picked up for $13. I actually picked up. Let's see if I can remember them all. GTA 5, Sprint Vector,
Rock Band, I think.
Arizona Sunshine, Rock Band, Killing Floor.
Yeah, Killing Floor Incursion.
And
Oh,
something
real
else.
quick, Lee VR said still not available in Australia, so the index still isn't available. In I couldn't remember all the countries. I know Canada was one of them.
Yeah. But yeah, Green Man Gaming had a sale where you buy one game, get 5 free,
Get 5 for free.
and then another one actually unknown that they send to you. Which, yeah, I mean, that's so basically 7 games for $13 is what I got, which is unbelievable. And I picked up GTA 5 because I actually want to try the VR version of it.
Yep.
Which I'm really excited to try that just because I love GTA 5. It's still going to be on gamepad. That's fine. I just want to visually live in GTA 5.
No doubt.
I mean, what's that end up? $2 a game or something?
Yeah, it
at
was something
13
crazy.
like,
Yeah, so I did the
it's-
same thing. I think it was all around the same games. And if it is still live, it's a great deal. It's a great way. And we'll probably, because a lot of those games are games that we already have or whatever. So we'll probably do some giveaways with those. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I think maybe because next weekend is Thanksgiving, maybe we'll try and give some stuff away for Thanksgiving show.
I think that's what we're kind of talking about. Yeah.
So we'll do something like that. We'll probably do some live in the show. We'll probably do some maybe on Gleam, do a Gleam giveaway for people that can't, because a lot of people don't always watch it live. But
Maybe our Discord, if people are on there.
Yeah.
We're
So
a pretty big Discord community now. It's getting up there.
it's awesome. I try to I love just randomly popping it up and see what people are talking about. And I mean, people come up with awesome ideas and I mean, share
that's the
things
thing.
that we don't even know
Anybody
about
has a
sometimes.
question and drops it on there, needs something, somebody on there knows.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
It's awesome. So
Crazy.
real quick, the Valve Index now available in 31 countries, including Canada and Japan. So those seem to be the most recent additions, as well as 28 other regions. So I guess
Honestly,
still not
it's
Australia yet, though.
It's the best headset. I'm telling you. I know it's a big chunk of change, but if you guys have been in VR for a while or obsessed with VR like we are, it's definitely worth thinking about. And I know even PD, who's a big Oculus fan and stuff, it's just a totally different headset. It
Yeah,
really is.
It is. I mean, the
Especially
thing is
compared
that,
to this gen Oculus too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this gen Oculus isn't as quality as maybe even the CV1.
yeah,
To me,
build quality wise,
I think.
yeah.
Build quality.
I mean, the screens
so,
are definitely better. The visuals are definitely
yeah.
better in the Rift S than they are the CV1 for sure.
Sure.
But
then the index is stepped up even from that.
Gamertag VR just popped in here too. So luckily we didn't start our show till after his show
I
was
know.
live today. We got lucky with that because we were
That's
trying to
true.
figure out a time. We had this week's just been insane. So next week we should be back on to Saturday morning, so that won't be an issue.
Yep.
But I just don't think I could have really been on the show from the plane.
Yeah, but maybe we'll be out Black Friday shopping at that point still. I don't know.
on Saturday? I hope not.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of good deals going on for sure. So
I know.
we're gonna sort through all those things. But
I know. Actually, some of them were live, I think, already, though. I don't know if any of the headsets.
yeah, a lot of them are live early this year.
Yeah, I think so. I know. It's
So-
crazy. But actually, Oculus is even dropping the price on Oculus's store for the Rift S.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty
that
sure
was
you
good
can
to
pick
hear.
that up for $349 just about everywhere. Best Buy is going to
Yeah.
have it. You know, the Lenovo store. So there's going
Right.
to be a lot of places. The one other bigger thing that we did get this, I think it was this past week, was the new Star Wars Vader Immortal Episode 3.
Yeah.
And I have not played that yet. You probably haven't played it yet either.
I haven't either. I don't know. It's a mixed bag of reviews, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, from the first to the second, I felt like the first one was quite a bit better than the second one, in my opinion. There was a lot of things that I liked better about the first one than the second one. And I can't talk about the third one yet because I haven't got a chance to play it yet. You know, I just got into Espire 1 before the show. But we can show the trailer. Oh, I still got Half-Life playing up here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're a Star Wars fan, I think any of these would be amazing to play.
Right.
But it's hard. I mean, when you have one that trumps them from the beginning, then they come out less.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard.
Yep.
really
But it's
hard.
still, I mean, when you're getting it on, available on Quest and Rift S, I mean, it's a pretty awesome series that can't be ignored for sure.
No,
this is still
absolutely.
another, almost like a Half-Life kind of thing. Star Wars has such a big following that games like this
huge,
are
yeah.
going to bring people into VR either way.
Yep.
I was telling a guy at work about this the week before last, I think, and I was showing him the new trailer and stuff, whenever it was, and he was like, "You could play Star Wars in VR?" Like he had no idea because he's a big Star Wars fan, and I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Yeah, come over and try it out." So, yeah,
Crazy, I know. It does look good though, but
yeah, we're getting some
I don't know.
guns in this
Everyone
one.
that's played it, though, a lot of people were saying maybe not as good. So
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm excited to try out, some shooting aspect and stuff in the game.
know.
But I mean, everybody loves the lightsaber, and the second one, we were able to use the Force and stuff. So it's still really cool. And I don't know, do we know how many of these are going to be? I'm not sure how many in the series there's going to be, but hopefully they just keep pumping them out. And right now, there wasn't that much time between the second and the third one.
Right,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. The second one just came out, so
Yeah.
it's pretty
No,
awesome.
I mean, I think they were probably trying to get them all out for holiday first off.
Yeah,
And now they're bundling them, instead of doing, anything off, they're bundling them so you get some free games and stuff like that. So I think it's good. They need to do some sales.
They need
for
to
holiday.
do more bundles. I think they should do that. They should have.
Sure.
I still don't know why they haven't done a Beat Saber bundle. They should do a Pistol Whip bundle. And even limited edition headsets. Get headsets that are themed to whatever, like a Star Wars themed headset. It looks
Look
like
at the sub pack that sold out in like what?
Yeah, the Beat Saber
day?
sub pack. Yeah.
I mean, that thing was gone instantly.
For real.
So I don't know why they don't either, but to each their own.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, actually, so somebody that was over for our open house said that, like, hey, I know you're into VR, that didn't really know to the extent that I am. And they said, my son is looking for a headset. They're like, it starts with OC something. I'm like, oh, the Oculus Quest. She's like, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, well, come on, I'll let you try it. She's like, really? You have it? And I'm like, yeah. So
If
she's
you
like,
only knew.
right. And she's like, well, where, can I get it like cheaper somewhere? Is it going to go on sale on the holidays? And I'm like, nope, won't be on sale.
Yeah.
Good luck if probably you can even get one. She's like, can I just go somewhere and buy one? And I'm like,
Maybe.
yeah,
I haven't
Best
checked the
Buy,
inventory.
if they have
I
it.
have to
I know.
imagine they're going to up the inventory for the holiday season.
I would
I have to
hope.
imagine you're going to be able to buy it anywhere,
Oh my
hopefully.
gosh, I
I mean,
know.
they got to get that right, at least, hopefully. But,
I know, but unless just production's that slow on them that they can't just keep up and demand's that high. I don't know.
It's been
but
a long time now. I mean, it's
I
been
know.
since spring. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I haven't
crazy.
really heard a whole lot of them not being able to be found places.
Yeah, I
so-
mean, when I've been at Best Buy previously, last couple of weeks, there's usually one on the shelf. I mean,
Right.
you're lucky to see two, but there's usually at least one on the shelves now. I mean, they're not fully packed shelves still, but there's usually at least some available. So I think that's going to be okay. Another bit of news that the Chauncey said is that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, but the VR Valve rolled out the remote play together this week, and it works with some VR local co-op games. So that was actually in beta, I think, for a little while, and I think it's rolled out. I'm not sure if it's released to the public yet or if it's still on the beta channel, but that is so you can play local co-op games online, basically, with other people, which is pretty cool. There are a couple games that we need to get into that are local co-op games that would be cool to use that function to be able to play together from not in the same room. So
I don't know why games don't just do it off the get, but you know.
Yeah, I agree. But some games are built around the the local co-op aspect of it, so I can see that. But it's still always good to have that option because not everybody always has somebody right there that's wanting to play. And
with VR, I mean, how many people have 2 VR headsets and 2 setups to run, and you know all that? So
and not all of them are VR. A lot of them are still just desktop VR stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Back and forth with somebody that has a desktop. But you have plenty of friends that have a desktop, PC that can play games with you in VR that aren't at your house. So I think it's definitely a great option. So I'm not sure if that's rolled out of the beta channel yet or if it's still in beta, but definitely. So supposedly so far it's working good. So I haven't tried
anything
yet,
that drives people towards VR. Just again, and I had all these people over and I didn't get to really show anybody, as much as I wanted to.
Right.
And as much as I say, let everybody try it. And it's like, gosh,
yeah.
I just want everyone to experience it. And like the people I was telling, like it didn't even make sense to them. I'm like, no, when you reach down and pick it up, it's in your hand. Like you hold it up and you can see it. And they're like, oh yeah, I went to one of those like big domes where the video was all around me and it was crazy. I'm like, no,
nope.
Not like that.
still in it. Yeah,
Definitely
still
not.
isn't it. Yeah. One of the things that we did in Vegas was they have a new Cirque du Soleil show that is called Run. And it was really, really cool. I wish I would have had the VR camera with me when we went, because when you go in before the show, they have this whole setup where you're walking down. It's basically like a cyberpunk future kind of world, and you're walking down these halls and stuff. And there's all these graffiti and a phone booth and like all this stuff in there. And I honestly, like I told the wife, like I'm having flashbacks a little bit. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I feel like I'm inside the world of lo-fi." I mean, absolutely felt like it was just crazy. Like you're walking, I mean, it's really cool. I put a couple pictures up on the Discord. I had some video too from my phone. I don't remember if I need to figure out putting the video on there. But I mean, it was really, really cool. And I really felt like I was there with the graffiti. Like you're walking down and, the payphone rings and you answer it and they're like, "We're always watching" or whatever. And you look over and there's this, like window that you're looking through with this guy in a room that's watching all these like TVs, and you're on the TV, with like fuzz and stuff, like there's a camera somewhere. But man, I literally felt like I was in the world of lo-fi, and I like had flashbacks and memories and stuff. And I was telling her, I was like, it's so weird because VR can make you feel that way. Like like
you've been there.
Yeah. You can go somewhere and be like, man, I feel like I've been here before. And you have, but it just wasn't in the real world. It was so weird, but it was the coolest thing. Really, really cool. A really good show too. It was really fun, but I was like, man, I just can't believe how much it feels like I'm in lo-fi. It's crazy.
I know.
But
so Fluke Rogi in chat was saying that he thinks that VR really needs a much bigger advertising push.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the trailer from Valve at almost 7.5 million views.
Yeah, and that was
is the
just
biggest
from
advertising
Valve. I
you
mean,
can
that
do.
trailer's other channels too. That trailer's kind of all over the place.
But now everybody's seen it and everybody knows it is just VR. I mean, that's where it's going, people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're watching this and don't have a VR headset, get one, because if not, you'll have one in the next year anyways, because it's going that way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and
crazy.
I think we're just now starting to see a push for advertising, at least from Oculus. They're really up in their game with the commercials. And I think that's going to help, especially with the holiday season. I do hope that we get some Half-Life Alyx trailers, on mainstream TV, because there's still people that, even though with the big numbers on YouTube and stuff, I'm sure there's still plenty of people that have still never even realized that Half-Life's about to come to VR next year in a VR-only game. So, yeah, I really think,
I know.
It's pretty big. But I have been seeing those Oculus commercials a lot more places. Like, we don't watch a whole lot of mainstream TV, but now lately, like even at the, while we were in Vegas, they had some football games and stuff. I think gaming science teacher just mentioned it, but they were playing football games and stuff on the TVs and stuff, different places we were at. And I saw Oculus commercials quite a few times. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, this is so cool. So, yeah.
Just the exposure.
For sure. So, pretty awesome.
I know, it's crazy. So for me, I get to actually on this coming Tuesday, so 2 days from now, I'm actually going to what we have in the States is Dave and Buster's.
Right.
Is kind of like an arcade restaurant kind of bar place.
They're pushing
and they
some
actually
VR
have
stuff now, right?
They are, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm going. They have the Terminator VR experience there, along with a bunch of others.
Right.
But this one's very new. They're running it on Vives, is what they're running it on. So I'm curious now, after having what I have now, to go back to
Right.
a Vive. That they're pushing all this VR
Yeah.
stuff in. Is it going to seem?
Yeah, so
You know,
so I
not
haven't
too
been to
great?
the
I
Dave
don't
and
know.
Buster's ones to do that. There is one by me I need to check out and see what they have there. But I've went to one that's called Uptown Alley, which is like a bowling alley kind of thing, but it's
Sure.
like a huge place with a ton of arcade stuff, and they have one as well, and it was on Vives. But it was just very generic game that they had. It was basically a 4-person shooter game. There's 4 headsets, and you were just standing in one spot, like shooting these aliens and stuff that came at you. So a lot of people were blown away, but for me, I was like, I can play better games at home. But, and real quick, before
I know,
we
I
get too
get
much off topic, Gamertag VR said he was taken off. He had a rough couple nights. He said he's got a headache, and I did see, like I said, I was out of town, but I saw he was doing a stream that he did a 24-hour live stream to
donations.
raise money for I believe it was the mental health, like a mental
Yes,
health.
it was mental health awareness.
Yeah, so that was really awesome. I
He
wish
actually,
I could have.
I think he got 800 pounds or something.
Awesome.
I think
Yeah,
6
I'm
or
not sure.
800.
I
Yeah,
think
that's amazing.
I'm not sure if he's still in here, if he's popped out yet, but definitely that's a pretty awesome thing. An
That
awesome
is.
thing to do for charity. So definitely.
Yep, we've been talking about.
congrats.
We have a maybe a fun idea for some charities.
which
so,
we've talked about with
yeah.
GT. So he will be involved if that happens too. So that was really awesome. I was really
Yep.
really cool to see that. GT's a great guy. So
Yes, he is,
definitely
yeah.
definitely cool to see him do that. So I just wanted to mention that real quick before he popped out. But yeah, really cool. So
VR's doing big things, man. Mm-hmm. It's happening right now.
no doubt.
Crazy. I can't wait. I can't wait till holidays. I can't wait till all the new people playing VR.
Oh yeah, especially after Christmas,
so
there's
cool.
going to be a huge influx in the games, any multiplayer game. I would have.
Oh
a
my
feeling.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
between Christmas and New Year's, there'll be everyone playing. It'll be saturated.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think? Is everyone going out and buying Beat Saber? I mean, minute one?
You mean after picking up Quest for
Yeah.
Christmas? Probably.
Picking up anything. A lot of people want it. I mean just from
Beat
seeing
Saber,
the videos online.
Beat Saber is still just a huge draw to VR. I mean, that is still, there's people that don't even know what VR is, but they've heard of Beat
Sure,
Saber.
sure.
So
Yep.
yeah, Beat Saber's still huge. So, and I
I
mean,
know.
like we talked about Espire 1, I think it's going to be another big one on the Quest, especially, get a couple of little kinks and stuff worked out there. But yeah, I mean, another thing, I don't know if we mentioned it for Espire 1, is that it is cross-buy. So you buy it on Quest or Rift, you get it on both, which is why I ended up buying it on the Oculus store, because I wanted to be able to have it, for the Quest as well.
So another one for the holiday is Santa's Visit.
Yeah.
They've actually been working on some really cool things for that.
Yeah, we have. Did you hop into there yet? I hopped in.
No, I haven't yet.
I hopped in last week and we talked to them a little bit. I'm not sure who got the game code that we gave away. I'm not sure if they hopped in there, but it is pretty cool. It is really short so far. So that was one of the main things we told them is like, they have some ideas for things they're adding and stuff. And it is pretty short right now. It's a real short experience. You kind of go in, you get to play with a bunch of toys and stuff and kind of figure out which toy is for which kid or person, mom, dad, and stuff. There's a lot of really cool little things about it. You can go in, you can turn the TV on, you can change through a couple different Christmas movies on the TV.
Yep.
It's a really cool experience, but it does need some more things added to it. So I'm not sure who got the key if they got to go in there and stuff, but they have some cool
talk
ideas.
about what they're adding?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit last show because
Did
we
we?
gave away
Okay.
the key. Yeah, they're talking about doing
Okay.
being able to ride Santa's sleigh, going down the chimney. So they got a lot of cool stuff added. So I think that once they get some more built into the game, I think it'll be more worth the price tag and stuff. I can't remember how much it is now, but but I think it'll be cool for Christmas time. So hopefully they get that stuff
Exactly.
added in the closer
Yep.
we get to Christmas. I think that'll be really cool. So but
It'd be
it's a
so
cool little
cool.
it's a cool
Put
little
kids
game.
in
But,
and stuff. Oh,
yeah,
kids
I
would
think
freak.
kids will like
Oh my
it. Yeah, I
gosh.
think kids will like
I
it.
mean, I like it, but I mean, kids too.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah,
It'd
it's
be
pretty
so
cool.
fun. I know.
It's pretty awesome, but.
Yep.
Yeah, so Paradise
chat
Decay
here.
said VR channel has already seen a boost in view and subs after the Half-Life launch trailer. So
Oh, for
I don't think
sure.
there's any
yeah.
doubt it's got attention. It got people's
Yeah.
attention for sure. So
Absolutely. And the crazy thing is now these people that are just learning that VR isn't just 360 videos
Yeah.
or like 3D TVs, that's not what it is,
Right.
that they don't even know the difference in the headsets.
Right.
They don't know about, different resolutions or lenses types or, any of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally starting from scratch, what everyone that's, experienced now in VR has known, or has learned on our show or other people's shows. it's a lot to take in for somebody new. So
Yeah,
it's still a complicated world right now. You know, it's not like buying a TV where, you know, it's going to work across the board. You know, you have to think, do you want an Oculus? Do you want Valve's headset? Do you want to go with, you know, Pimax, which is on the other spectrum?
Right. Which, I mean, a lot of people aren't even going to realize that, you know, a lot of people that are excited about this Half-Life trailer and all that, a lot of people probably don't even realize that they don't have to buy the Valve Index to play that game. You know, I mean, if you're totally on the outside, it's a whole new world. So
yeah,
it's pretty crazy. But luckily, there's a lot of great people in the VR community that are helping spread some knowledge around all kinds of people, which is really awesome. I mean, the VR community is one of the best gaming community, whatever, in my opinion, there is, and hopefully it stays that way as VR grows and really blows up. But
I even thought, you know, a year or two ago, it was only because it was real small. You know, it was real tight. Everybody was real early on it and passionate. But now as we get bigger, it's staying that way, and everyone is just so excited for this new technology. I feel like it's a brand new world, and everyone's, you know, a baby in this VR community that everyone's kind of nice.
Except for the flat haters that have it. That have it. Eventually they'll understand. Eventually they'll understand, and they'll be on the same boat as us. But there are a lot of haters right now. So the people on the outside of the VR community aren't as friendly, but the people on the inside of the VR community are pretty awesome.
Once we open the gates and let them in, then they're good to go. But horrible.
Oh man, that's pretty awesome. But so I think that's just about all we have for today. We really wanted to focus on the big things that were happening. I'm not sure if you have anything else you wanted to get into real quick before.
I don't think so. I need to get in and play some stuff.
That's
you know, now that I'm
too.
finally done, like yesterday was the last day basically of house stuff.
Oh, you're muted. You just got quiet. Where'd you go?
Oh.
Did you hit a button? I hear
Sorry.
you now.
No, I did. No, I didn't. But no, now that the house is done, I finally have some spare time now to start really getting into some stuff and playing. Get back into some multiplayer, get back into Stormlands,
get
on
on
the
get back
leaderboards.
into Stormland together.
Oh, I know.
So I need to do that maybe before I reset my game to see if I can get able to progress again. I don't know what's going on with that, but I mean, this past week it was crazy because it was a crazy busy week for us. You know, I was out of town. You were trying to get everything ready for your stuff going on at the house Saturday, and like the floodgates opened up. All this crazy stuff happened. We're like, man, we just try to do a show right now. We just try to jump on, but it just wasn't any time. We're like, let's just wait till Sunday. We'll figure it out, and that's kind of what we did. So definitely glad everybody could still join us today. We know it wasn't normal time or normal anything for us. You know, we had a little bit of issues starting out earlier today, but definitely glad everybody was here. We love talking about VR. There's so many good things to talk about this week that it made it even more exciting. But we're definitely glad everybody.
We really appreciate the super chats and all the love from you guys and the community as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a great time to be here. I know I'm excited. I can't wait.
My chair makes some funny noises. I swear it was just my chair.
Right. Oh my god.
But all right, well, we will hopefully be back next Saturday, normal time,
hopefully.
I believe. So if we're not too shopped out, and maybe we'll try to we'll probably put something out this week. I don't know if we're gonna maybe try to do a stream, a play session stream of us both playing together, or possibly some Black Friday deals and stuff going on.
Definitely.
So we got a little bit of plans. Hopefully this week will be a little bit more relaxed than the past week. So. Yeah, and hopefully
maybe Friday.
I mean, maybe next week will end up being another crazy week for us, and we get a whole bunch of stuff dropped. Who knows? But
you never know, man. It's holiday.
It's gonna be hard to beat this week. This past week is gonna be a hard week to beat. That's for sure.
I know it is too. That's all right.
Awesome.
We'll get there. We'll get Half-Life. I can't wait.
No, it's gonna be insane.
That's all right.
We'll have to stop the show for a while just so we can spend endless amounts of days in Half-Life.
Amazing. I can't wait.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate it. We will see you again soon.
Yeah, and let us know in the chat while we roll out of here if you guys are picking up Half-Life Alyx too, because man, I know we can't wait, but maybe it's not for everybody.
Not picking up Half-Life Alyx?
I know. Why wouldn't you? I mean,
people, even Quest people, they're gonna be going buying a gaming PC this Black Friday. I mean, come on.
And an index.
It's gonna happen.
Why not, right?
Maybe. All right, everybody.
All right.
We'll see you
We're
later.
out. See you here. See you guys in VR.
Later.
Later.